idea functionally what I'm doing.
Months until I'm customizing my pussy lips. I'm very excited.
For fucking the giggles.
Yo, you ain't getting a candy bar, bitch.
I have 1 round left. Just enough for myself.
It's a
Welcome to the
podcast.
fucking podcast.
It's a fucking podcast, dude.
This may be a very short podcast. One,
Because there's nothing to talk
we
about.
barely have news. 2, a thunderstorm might knock out our ability
Yeah,
to
that's
talk
true.
to each
That is
other.
also a possibility.
It'll also destroy this recording, maybe. Let's see. Hey,
Much love to everyone.
that's not true.
Fuck them.
That's our
Well,
slogan.
that's a loving act. Sometimes.
Fuck all of them. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Painful fucking.
We hate fuck our viewers.
Yeah, hate fuck you, person sitting in your chair. The 2 of you.
We hate fuck
Hate
your
fuck
ears.
or thank fuck.
No.
Hate fuck.
We look you in our eyes. Our eyes? Fuck it. This has gone nowhere.
I'm sweaty and I smell bad.
Knees weak, arms are heavy.
Yeah, just vomit. On my spaghetti,
Mom spaghetti.
Spaghettis.
and I don't have a Red Bull this week. I'm coming in somewhat low energy. I'm drinking. This is a healthy podcast today. I'm drinking seltzer.
Wow.
What
Wow.
flavor
Seltzer water. It actually is flavored.
What,
It's
it doesn't
normally I
have-
don't.
No one
normally I
drinks
don't
regular seltzer. Get the fuck out of here.
I do. I drink regular seltzer all the time.
Regular seltzer tastes like crap, though.
I'm pretty sure we've been
Wow.
over this on the
I
podcast.
don't, Anthony. I hate seltzer as well.
Good.
We've been over this on the podcast where you guys have the strange opinion that it's like bitter, and I honestly don't understand that
It has a flavor, that's for sure.
because it has no flavor. It's just water with bubbles in it. I don't really get it.
Bubbles add flavor.
They don't.
No, shut the fuck. If you get a half glass of water and a half glass of seltzer and you take
Mhm.
one after the other, you cannot tell me they taste exactly the same.
But that's like saying I can taste the difference between tap water and bottled water, which I can.
You know, that's fair.
You know,
We're lucky. That
like
we
I
have
like I'll
really
give it to
nice
you that
tap
there
water.
might be a mild difference in taste there, but it's not extreme enough. And I like it. I like seltzer. It's good. It keeps me away from soda and shit, to be honest, because I just chug
that's the
Yeah,
real thing.
that's good.
salty water.
I've gone with diet teas. That's my soda replacement.
Today I'm drinking black cherry
Oh,
flavored
classic.
sparkling water beverage. Nice brand. It's called Nice. And you
Really?
know what?
Nice.
It's
Is it
pretty
nice?
nice. Yeah, it's
Is it
pretty nice.
So no false advertising.
Nice.
You got? Is there any brand that has like a negative connotation as its name? Is there like shitty seltzer out there?
What? Like something that actually names itself like dog shit salsa.
Yeah, exactly. There should be. Even it doesn't have to be seltzer, but it's just there's all these nice and good and pure. I want filthy seltzer. Chug me
I mean,
some-
I could probably think there's definitely something out there that's named something unflattering.
There's a lot of craft beers named like that.
I remember like having Death Wish coffee. That's not like a appealing name. That sounds like it'll kill you.
Yeah, right.
And the coffee was okay. It wasn't mind blowing. It didn't kill me though, so that's good.
False advertising soon. No, I guess.
Are we
the-
not
a
gonna get
death-
sponsored by Death Wish coffee? Because I just said that it wasn't mind blowing.
Oh,
We
but
should,
you said it was good. You just not.
I did. It was okay. It just wasn't. It wasn't memorable.
Well, here's the thing. When we get the sponsor, then suddenly it becomes mind blowing.
We should make a hot sauce and just call it spontaneous suicide hot sauce.
Fucking kill yourself. Hot sauce.
I don't think you can name your product.
Please kill yourself. Hot sauce.
I don't think you can name your product an obscenity.
That's not obscene.
Why not? Of course you can.
It says you were
can
saying
totally
the
name your
fuck
product
word.
an-
That's obscene.
Nah.
Hangman hot sauce, and it comes with like a new. No, you can't have any sort of news on it. Never mind. Never mind. That won't go over well.
Please kill yourself. Hot sauce. Wow.
I want a hot sauce that is just called "fuck my shit up,"
Fuck my.
because it will. You'll have some spicy poops.
I'm googling "fuck my shit up" hot sauce.
Oh, you might want to watch out.
Here you go, www.hotsauce.com, which is apparently a website, by the way.
Nice.
Here's a brand right here. Don't be a chicken shit hot sauce. It exists. Here's a nice picture of "Don't be a chicken shit" hot sauce if you want to put it in the podcast.
I will. This will be our first unofficial sponsor.
Hey, don't be a chicken shit. If you want to sponsor us, we'll all
that-
drink a whole bottle of your hot sauce
That
live.
chicken
I will
appears
not.
to
I
Oh, you will.
actually be
Oh,
shitting.
the fuck I will.
Well, you can't get any of the check then that they're gonna cut us. It's
Yeah,
part of the deal.
obviously.
We get your money if you don't drink a bottle.
I fucking hate hot sauce. You bet your ass I would drink a bottle
Fuck
for
yeah,
some
dude.
money.
I'd shit my ass off for weeks if it meant that they were gonna fucking
I would-
Funny.
If you pay me enough, I will boof hot sauce.
like straight up butt chug style with like
Hell
a beer
yeah,
bong.
hell
With
yeah.
hot sauce right into the
Just a
fucking.
funnel right in my anus.
Yeah.
My anus is the funnel, which that's a song name, by the way.
We really have no standards, people. We'll do anything. You know, there's no shame, no
Except
standards.
we
Just
will-
cut
we-
us a check and we'll boof your product.
Except
It doesn't matter
we
what it
won't-
is.
We won't say that we like our fans,
No, yeah, not that. That's a step too far.
but anything else is on the table.
But we will
Especially because they don't exist.
our products apparently.
Will you ever be paid? Now, this is hypothetically an infinite amount of zeros. Will you ever shove something in your dick hole for a sponsorship?
What is it?
It's whatever the
Antifreeze.
sponsor is. Oh god. Low grade
Straight. Straight antifreeze up your dick hole.
How much?
liquid nitrogen.
like-
I'm saying it's unlimited. Like is there a point where that it becomes okay? It's potentially infinite money.
I mean, there's always a fucking point, dude.
I don't know.
I can't start naming quantities of antifreeze to put in my dick hole for money. I can't.
I don't.
I can't start measuring the amount of antifreeze.
I don't.
Why
Well, I
not?
think about 2 ounces of antifreeze would be good. I'll put that in my dick hole for about 20.
Oh, I was thinking just like
$2,500.
amount of money, not amount of antifreeze.
Oh, I thought we were talking like how much antifreeze
How
would you
many
be willing
dollar
to shove up
bills
your
can
dick
you
hole?
shove in your dick hole?
Yeah, the reverse.
No.
They'll pay you in
I-
antifreeze.
I'll be honest, I don't-
25
You'll never be.
$25
You'll
for your
never have want for antifreeze again.
It's a reverse sponsorship.
Sponsored by the Federal Exchange.
We'll pay you guys $2,000, but you have to split that evenly amongst yourselves and then shove it up your dick hole, and then we'll pay you in antifreeze.
Oh, however much you fit in the dick hole is how you're paid.
This is a
The
vulgar
more,
podcast.
the more
but
you shove
Yeah,
in, the
this is,
more the sponsorship is worth. They'll match.
dude.
They'll match your donation.
yeah, the weight in paper money that you shove up your dick hole, they'll match in antifreeze.
That's a pretty terrible deal.
Yeah, it sounds like that's a lot.
do you mean it's great?
Liquids
That
are
deal.
much heavier, generally, than paper.
Yeah, it's a great deal. It's an amazing deal. 2 teaspoons of antifreeze shoved at your door.
Dude,
Shoving all these
two
dollar bills up your
teaspoons of
pee
dollar
hole.
bills in your dick.
My pee hole.
Yeah, for my answer, I don't think any amount of money I want to fuck with my dink. I need to be able to coom.
That's where
If
that's where
that's
you
put
draw
in
the line.
That's a
Jeopardy.
very fair statement.
If that's put in jeopardy, I don't think there's
You don't put the coomage in danger.
maybe like one testicle. If I could inject antifreeze into one ball,
only one.
localize the damage, then I would do that. But I need to hang on to at least one, and I need a clear path those are my terms.
Boofing chicken shit hot sauce is fine, but
Everything
nothing
else,
in the dick hole. Loss of one testicle,
I
fine.
almost
We're
said-
learning your standards
I
here.
almost said anything could go in my ass, but then I stopped myself
Ooh.
because that's not true. I won't accept like a Gillette sponsorship.
Oh god.
It may,
Oh no no no.
it may be the best that man can get, but I mean,
Oh no no no.
there though, I don't know.
Oh no no no.
I can't wait.
Come for the gaming news, stay for the talk of us shoving razors up our ass.
The boofing.
Jesus
Damn,
Christ.
that was a fucking opener.
That was strong.
I thought
You know,
this
that's where
podcast-
we're gonna go. If we ever somehow manage to con someone into giving an actual sponsorship, I think that's gonna be my sponsorship pitch. It's like I put it up my ass. Like regardless of
I'll
if
put
I
it up my
did or not, I'll be describing how it was in my ass. Any real product. I'll
We're never gonna
manage.
get
I'll
sponsored.
manage to somehow describe NordVPN and Raid Shadow Legends in my ass. Felt good. 400 champions in my ass. Any country in my ass.
Anywhere you want. You might actually be in America, but you'll be in Germany in my ass.
In my ass, yeah. And the best part, no logging. Oh, Jesus Christ.
This is one of the worst opens, or best, depending on your opinion.
depends on your
I think
opinion.
I think
guess.
it's pretty strong so far.
Not bad. The worst part about it is that we will not get a sponsorship from Chicken Shit Hot Sauce.
That's true. But
Or
hey, that
NordVPN.
just means no hot sauce in the ass. So, you know, I'm
Nord, please.
gonna tag the video chicken shit hot sauce just to see.
Rooster Teeth, please buy us, and then funnel us sponsors that we can talk about putting in
into
our ass.
our ass, yeah.
Yeah.
Then funnel sponsors into my ass. Holy fuck. Do we even want to talk about weeks?
No, I don't.
I have
I'm,
nothing. I have nothing to fucking talk about, dude.
Uh,
I have nothing to
I-
talk
I
about.
had a
the
pretty
only
crazy week,
thing, the only
honestly.
thing I could talk about week-wise is my, I guess, non-spoiler Mortal Kombat review.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we could do that. Go for it. Come on, nerd. Let's go. Hit me
All
up.
right.
How
I
was
have
it in
not
your
watched
ass?
the movie yet.
So this
Yeah,
is
like-
this is going to be best as possible non-spoiler review of Mortal Kombat. Has anyone else here watched it?
I
9.
have.
I watched the opening scene, but I pirate everything and the copy was garbage, so we're waiting a few days and then we're gonna hit it again.
I have not seen it. Technically, I should be able to, but I have not yet. Maybe at some point in the future I will, but probably not for quite some time. I want to watch this movie, but
Opening
don't have
scene
access
seemed
to
fine.
HBO
All right.
Max.
There was choreography and shit.
So on Brandon's patented scale of thumbs,
Yes, thank you. My patented scale
Yes.
thumbs.
I give the movie a thumb up, and I've been switching back and forth the past few days on this, thinking about it more. I don't know where to put the second thumb. It's either whore thumb or it's down, and I'm not sure. But it's
Are
definitely
we
one up.
modifying the scale? Is it like at a 45-degree angle, you would say?
Yeah, it goes from down to middle, and I'm not sure where to put it, but there is a solid thumbs up. The reason I give it the solid thumbs down, I'll go or middle, is the one thing I can't stand is how fucking boring and like useless this new main character is. Whoever the fuck his name is, I forgot. That's how fucking boring he is.
Cole?
Cole,
Is that
there
his
you
name?
go. Yeah, there
Cole
you go.
McGrath?
Nice.
he's just there to fill something in the story that didn't necessarily need to be filled, I don't think. And his superpower that gets unlocked in the movie is just he turns into Dave Bautista's character from Man with the Iron Fist. Like, and it's just not cool. I didn't enjoy it. It's boring.
I've heard from the outside, kind of looking in on people's reviews and shit, having not seen the movie yet myself, that I watched Maximilian's spoiler-free take on the movie, and I read a few other things, and it seems like that's generally the consensus, is that the main character sucks and is very unentertaining and has very little of anything that's interesting going on with him at all. And a lot of people have been questioning why they even bothered, myself included. Like, I don't even really understand why he exists when you have characters like Liu Kang or like Johnny Cage who could carry a movie as a main character. So why this like OC that they fucking just inserted in
I
this
don't know.
plot?
Someone
They could sell
someone
him as
liked someone slipped someone money, I don't know, name drop, but I'm not,
they
I
could
don't know,
sell him as
but-
DLC for Mortal Kombat now.
It strikes me as like someone got in a writer's room. This is what it strikes me as. Someone got in a writer's room and said, okay, we got to come up with a script for this Mortal Kombat movie. And they were like, but what about people who are going to watch this who don't know shit about Mortal Kombat? And then they were like, okay, we need a main character that people who don't know shit about Mortal Kombat can relate to. So they were like, we have to come up with someone new. But in reality, that's the most out of touch shit ever, because someone who doesn't know anything about Mortal Kombat can very easily relate to like Johnny Cage.
Hell, even
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
He's just a dude.
That's-
He's an actor who gets stuck in these really fucked up situations and then like fights
And
through them,
that's
like the Mortal
even-
Kombat tournament, the realms, blah blah blah, or Liu Kang. Like, I don't understand how
Yeah.
someone who doesn't know shit about MK couldn't work with that as a main character.
Because yeah, that's the whole thing about the tournaments, is that like they've been going on, but it's kind of like a shadow war type of thing, and it's always like when the defenders show up, they're like, "Oh, holy shit, what the fuck is this? This was supposed to be a martial arts tournament. What the fuck?" You know, it's very yeah, literally any character could be focused on as the lead and as kind of an outsider and be fine, because Mortal Kombat started from square one, so just start there. Jesus Christ.
Is Johnny Cage even in this movie?
Spoiler. I mean, this is spoiler free, but I guess that's not a super spoiler. Not really.
Damn.
Cool. That's fucking absurd. They put this guy in there, but they don't have Johnny Cage in the movie. What's up with that? Johnny Cage is like the thing everyone loves about like the first MK movie. Like that that scene when he like fights Goro and he's like, "Those were $10,000 sunglasses, asshole." Like that's like the iconic shit
That's so
from
good.
the first movie. How do you not put Johnny Cage in this one? I don't get that. That seems like a massive oversight. But whatever.
Get really quick segue. Can I mention that I was fucking insulted by Red Letter Media?
Oh, and Jay Bauman was like, everyone's just pretending to like the
Yes.
first MK movie, and
Yes.
it's not actually good.
To
Yeah, he
the
doesn't know what he's talking
point-
about.
To the point, I rewatched the first Mortal Kombat movie.
Well, I just to
Christ.
make sure that it was actually good and you weren't lying to
I
yourself.
did it to Event Horizon 2. When they were like, both these movies aren't actually
Yeah.
good, I was like, the fuck they weren't! And I sat down and I watched both of them.
Listen, I respect Red Letter Media's reviews a lot of the time because I do think they have pretty good opinions and they usually get it right. But that was hard to hear Jay Bauman say, like to be like, nah, man, everyone's lying to themselves. The first MK movie sucks. I'm like, what the fuck are you on about?
The second
What?
MK movie sucked. Like, that is so bad it's good.
Like,
but the first
I have
one
to
is
assume-
corny and fun.
Yeah, I have to assume he just is like, he probably hasn't seen those movies in a while, and maybe he's getting this really shitty sequel confused with the first movie. You know what I mean?
It's also possible that it's just you get in different mindsets. Like, you can very easily grow out of that kind of humor and even that kind of like love for the franchise and even love for like that level of corniness.
Yeah.
So him going like, and I mean his job is literally to watch good bad movies. So he probably sees that, and it's like it's not bad enough to be best of the worst. You know, they always say that the worst a movie could be is boring, and I don't think that that movie is boring at all. But you know, he
I'm
consumes so much media that I'm sure his scale is completely off.
I'm assuming he's just getting it confused with Annihilation. Because Annihilation is the one that has the reputation as being shit, and if you're not like up on your MK movies, maybe he's just like relating Annihilation to the first one and being like, yeah, those movies suck. Like just assuming the first one's as bad as Annihilation, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, I'm assuming that's what he's doing. Maybe not. Maybe he legitimately remembers the first movie and believes that it's shit. But yes, I too heard him say that and kind of cringed a little, where I was like, oh no, dude, come on. Don't say that. That movie's pretty good.
But there's also
I mean, it's a product of its time for sure, but it's not bad, you know. It's not
I
like
also have to layer it where it's like I obviously came into that viewing very opinionated because again the second I heard it I was like the fuck it is, and then I watched it and I enjoyed it, but I can never quite honestly I can't say that that's a fully trustworthy because I knew my feelings
rewatching it.
going in.
You came in biased. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Sorry, that's my aside. Continue.
Yeah. Anyway, give us your rest of your opinions on this.
All right,
From what
so-
I've heard, right, from the outside looking in, other than Cole, see how you feel about this, because you and me kind of talked about this briefly like a couple days ago. What I had heard, having not seen it yet, is that the fight scenes are mostly just the ones that are in the trailer are pretty much the good ones. So if you've seen the trailer, you've kind of seen the best the movie has to offer in terms of its action. And that if you're not a Mortal Kombat fan, the movie is worse than it would be if you are an MK fan coming into it. You'll get more enjoyment out of it if you actually give a shit about Mortal Kombat. But as a movie on its own,
I'd
it's like
agree
a
with-
5.
I agree with that. I think, and I'll get to that too when I get to my thumbs up stuff. But I'd have to watch the trailer again to kind of like have an opinion on that statement. But I do agree that if you're an MK fan, you get more out of it than someone who knows nothing about Mortal Kombat. But continuing with my thumbs down, so Cole sucks. Another thumbs down thing I had was that for a Mortal Kombat movie that was like rated R and it was on a streaming platform and shit, and it was pretty tame in the viscera department, in the fatality department. Like there was maybe like, yeah, I think 2 cool like deaths, and then the rest were just kind of like bland. Like it just didn't seem like a lot of, you know, that classic MK fucking making the parents mad because it's corrupting our children style, which is maybe why they didn't do it, because they wanted to sell a movie.
I have a question I want to ask, and I don't know if you can answer this in like a super non-spoilery manner, but I'm gonna try to ask you anyway. So I'm gonna ask this in a way where you can answer it very vaguely. Do they actually like kill off important characters in this movie, or is it just like pure setup for like future films?
Yes, they kill off important characters.
Okay.
Good.
Interesting. I wonder who it could be.
Oh, it's multiple.
I wonder whom
But,
it could have been.
Whom's inquired?
Yeah, and then the other negative I have is I wasn't a big fan of like the final fight, like Sub-Zero Scorpion fight. I don't know, it was 50 Shades of okay. Like it didn't blow me away.
I mean, like I said, I heard all the fighting was pretty average and not incredible. And most of the good choreography was just in the trailers, and then everything else was.
With the way they went with the story, I don't know. It didn't do anything for me. In that like specific regard, and it was like, it was just okay. Like they hyped up Sub-Zero and Scorpion, and the first fight with them was awesome. I enjoyed that. And then the second fight happened, and maybe because Cole was in it and he's fucking boring as shit, maybe that's why I didn't like it. But just like it was kind of bland. I'm just trying to think of any other negatives.
That seems to be the biggest crime of the movie, is that it's just kind of like, once again, from the outside looking in, from what I've heard, that it's just kind of meh. Like, it's not horrendous, but it's not great, and it's really only good if you give a shit about Mortal Kombat. If you don't give a shit about Mortal Kombat, the consensus seems to be that it's like a 5 out of 10
Yeah, and
or
I can
something like
agree with
that.
that.
And it's like very average, like painfully average, and a lot of the stuff in it isn't amazing.
Moving on to that, I can't think of any off the top of my head. More negatives. Now, the things that are good about this movie is that yes, they do a lot of fan service. There are a lot of Easter eggs in the movie that I absolutely loved. There's like one in there. I'm not going to say what it is, but it kind of fucks up the timeline a bit with like the games, sort of, and like one character. But I guess you could hand wave that for whatever reason.
Well, I mean,
Boy,
this
can ya.
movie is like entirely. This movie from the jump is entirely separated from any story from any game because Cole exists at all.
Well,
So
yeah.
it's not the same thing.
Well, it's like it. The implications of it. I don't know. It's hard not to talk about like the specifics, but you could kind of hand wave that, whatever. But yeah, the Easter eggs are really cool. I'm not going to go into spoilers, but if you're an MK fan, you'll pick up on them, and they're very nice to see. There were characters I didn't like at face value that I ended up liking at the by the end. Like I've said this before, like I said this to Brandon. The actor who played Liu Kang, I wasn't too hot on him. I don't know what it was. Like I don't know. He just looked different from like the games to me and like the previous actor in the movies. I didn't think he fit Liu Kang. And then he took off his gi and he was swole as shit. And I'm like, nah, he's got it.
I was gonna say, I was like, I really like that actor.
No, like, oh yeah, I had nothing against like him acting. It was just him as the character. But I was like, wow, this guy looks really scrawny. You know, he's doesn't really look like a Liu Kang. Liu Kang's supposed to be swole, and then he just like strips that gi off, and holy fuck, this guy surprised the shit out of me.
You know,
It's
it's
like,
semi-related. I'm gonna talk about the Expanse in my week. The main character in Expanse is like the same ways. He looks like kind of nerdy and scrawny, and then like anytime with his shirt off, it's just like muscles. It's like, what the fuck? Okay.
The way they did Reptile was a little weird. And that's not a spoiler because he's clearly in the fucking trailer. Interesting, but it was cool. I mean, Brandon said this when we talked off cast about this, but he's heard, and I support this. Kano is the best part of the movie. He's fantastic.
How could
Yeah.
he not be? Does he say the line? Has he studied someone's moves?
Oh God, I didn't even think about that.
I don't think I don't remember, but
That's
Studied
okay.
all your moves.
but he's fantastic. Love him. Maybe a little overboard with like the comedy with him, but I mean it was good though, so it was whatever. I didn't mind it. Yeah, and other character designs that can't remember if they were in the trailer, so I don't want to say. Were really good. I was against. We've said this before. I think you can go back in the past on the cast. I wasn't a big fan of Melina's design because her mouth looked a little fucking weird. And I stand by that. But then there's a point where she kind of changes a bit and gets more like that Tarkatan look, and it was awesome. It was cool. I enjoyed it. Big improvement from semi-sharp yellow teeth.
Something you had said to me, and I guess I kind of want to bring this up because you're on the topic of Melina. I guess this is like a very, very mild spoiler for anyone who cares. That apparently you said that they don't go into like shit regarding Melina's backstory though. Like she just
No.
kind of exists in
Yep.
the movie, which is another like I don't know. That just sounds really strange to me because it's like
Well, again, what I said before too is that there are some Easter eggs that reference some shit, and it may or may not have to do with that.
it's just
So-
strange though that you wouldn't like kind of explain where Melina is coming from for like people who don't know anything about Mortal Kombat. Like if you don't know shit about Melina from a Mortal Kombat game, like does it not do a good enough job of telling like explaining to you who she is and where she comes from?
Not at all. She's just there. They don't even say anything.
Okay.
The only thing they even say about and again, I think I could say this because I'm pretty sure it was in the trailer. The only thing they say about like Shao Kahn is just nothing. He's just a statue. That's the only reference to him.
Nice. Well, he'll be in the second movie. Main antagonist of movie 2.
And yeah, the like cool fatalities we did get were very cool. So thumbs up because a lot of fan service in the Easter eggs. The actors were pretty good. The cool fight scenes were cool. And I think that's where the majority of my thumbs up comes from. It really was the Easter eggs and like getting some shit right. Like Bihan was cool as Sub-Zero.
Yeah, I expressed that to you once again, not having seen the movie, but I expressed to you that I'd heard people say that he's like he's kind of like he is like the main antagonist of the movie, and they kind of do him justice where he's not just like taking a back seat to like everyone dick riding Scorpion all the time. Like he's actually very menacing and like a solid, like relatively well done rendition of Sub-Zero, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, I enjoyed him. I think the only negative thing about him was just, again, it's not even him as the character. It was just how kind of lackluster I thought the final fight scene was. But that's not a reflection of his character throughout the movie, and I'll agree with that. He was very good at being Sub-Zero. And yeah, and then the thumbs down because Cole sucks. And there was just some bland fight scenes and yeah, so overall thumbs up and then middle to lower thumb.
There's a element of your thumb down that you're missing.
Why?
That we had speculated that maybe, perhaps, the shitty get over here was placeholder in that trailer,
you
and
know
that it
what?
wasn't the final get over here, and apparently it is, and it really sucks. It's not good. How you don't get Ed Boon in a sound booth to yell that shit and then just ADR it over that actor in that scene, I don't understand. Like, how do you fuck that up? That's like the one thing you gotta get right. They didn't get it right. Do you know people would have went mad? I mean, I'm sure people did anyway. Like whoever's actually going to theaters nowadays to see this movie, I guarantee you there were like people standing up and clapping when he goes, "Get over here!" But people would have went ape shit if it was like if it just cut to an Ed Boon voice clip in that moment of the actual "Get over here." Like that would have been hype as fuck.
Yeah, but for everyone who got up and screamed, the person who's just watching this would just be like, I don't get it. Why was that so shitty?
Yeah. Well, fuck them, okay? And it should have been Ed Boon.
Yes, good, correct. Fuck them. Are you
It should
listening
have
to
been Ed
this?
Boon,
Do
dude.
you not understand that clip? Wait, hold on. Silence. Here's that clip right now.
Get over here!
It's better. Shut up.
Like you could like do the work.
Hell
Yeah,
yes.
put it in.
You could put Ed Boon actually over it. You should. Oh fuck. That's the biggest issue. I haven't even seen the movie yet, and that's the biggest cause for a thumb down.
I think I don't know. I'm just gonna throw this out there. It might have. I don't know.
I'm
I'm
just
trying
gonna
to find a
throw
way to
this
say.
out.
All right,
Nah, I don't know.
disclaimer. I'm trying to find a way to say this that isn't taken as racist.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh,
how
this
about
is,
say whatever
What?
you want, and I'll just cut all this out.
No, because it might come off
What?
that way, but it's not meant to be.
Rich?
Well, no,
What?
no.
I'm
We
gonna
have
say
his implicit. This is
that
not
no,
racist.
it's not. All right, listen to
No,
what
you
I
said
have
it.
to
You-
say.
I'm
you have
formally
said
leaving
it,
the
that you
podcast.
are-
You'll all be hearing from my lawyers in the coming days, but they will contact
You
you.
have
I'm leaving the podcast.
explicitly said that this is no racial connotations. So when you say the N word right now, we know.
No, so obviously, uh, Hanzo Hasashi is Japanese. Obviously, and in this movie, it might, and he spoke Japanese throughout the movie. It might be rough for the actor to do a hearty "get over here" in Japanese, like because he's. I mean, I don't know. That's all I'm saying.
But why would he?
No, it's supposed to be Ed Boon. Goddammit.
Yeah, the point I'm making is there shouldn't have been him doing it at all in the first place. That like I don't understand why they even had him do the line. Like just ADR, the classic "get over here" line from the games that everyone knows that like only one dude on this planet can do with that chutzpah, and it's Ed Boon. That's what I don't understand.
There was a big whole thing in Mortal Kombat X that that encapsulates this perfectly. Where they could have
Yeah, true.
had they have a new actor. They could have had him do it. He's a fantastic voice
Like,
actor.
like I'm just like looking him up just so I'm not talking like an asshole. Like he clearly, I'm pretty sure knows English, but like
I see what
his
you're getting at
first
now.
language was Japanese, and you know he's got the accent, so it just might have been hard to do a hearty "get over here" with that accent.
Right. I'm not saying that though. Like I feel like we're having two different conversations.
You
I'm not
wanted it just to be Ed Boon. But...
Yes, I'm not saying it's fine. Like it's fine that he did it the way that he did it. I'm not complaining about his ability to do it. I'm complaining that they had him do it at all, because whoever they cast shouldn't have even been the one saying it. It should have been Ed Boon. You just fucking ADR Ed Boon's classic "get over here" right over that scene. Problem solved.
You don't find that a little maybe disrespectful in a way?
They
No,
literally
not
Anthony
at all.
literally just explained that they did it to the voice actor in MKX straight up. In the story mode for MKX, Ed Boon does not voice Scorpion, but in the moment where spoilers, in the moment where he kills Quan Chi and he goes, "Get over here," and he throws the spear, it cuts to the Ed Boon voice clip over.
All right, that doesn't like take away my statement of you don't find that maybe a little disrespectful.
Not at all.
I really don't. ADR
Well,
happens all the time
Yeah, but that's like
in the movie industry.
all right. At
But
least
it's
the way
a-
I
it's a
take it is
direct
like they're saying like,
reference.
oh, you can't do a good job, so we're just going to use the guy before you who did a good
No,
job.
it's a legacy. It's a legacy of the line. The same guy has been saying "get over here" for like decades that Mortal Kombat has existed. I don't think it's a matter of disrespecting the actor. I think it's a matter of like I mean you've used the word yourself multiple times of like fan service in the movie. Ed Boon's the one who's been screaming that for decades. So why not just have him do it for that scene? Like I don't get it. I don't think it's disrespectful to the
point.
actor. He gets to
Fair
do everything
point.
else, you know?
He's still getting the check at the end.
Maybe this guy was like, "Fuck you, no Ed Boon, I'm doing it." I don't know.
I mean, maybe. I'm assuming that's what it was the director or whoever were like, we're going to let our guy do it. But, and like, no disrespect to him. It's just not, it's not Ed Boon. Like, Ed Boon is the one I've been listening to Ed Boon since I was like 5 years old, screaming, "Get over here," through like my fucking Sega Genesis or whatever. Like, I just can't. That's what it has to be, man.
To be perfect.
And it's not what it is. So it's kind of unfortunate.
But I still suggest watch the movie because, again, if you're an MK fan, a lot of fan service that you'll enjoy.
Just
I'm excited to watch it. I want to watch it. And maybe when I do, maybe we could have a more spoilerific discussion again. We could
Yeah,
have a
that sounds
MK Redux conversation.
And I've said this to you not on the cast. And I'm not gonna like repeat it just because it's a spoilery. But that one character I told you was in it, I think they do him really well, and I really enjoyed him.
Yeah. I know who you're talking about, but I don't want to say it.
Okay.
Is that it? Is that your feelings?
Besides that, I just played Hunt and
Card games,
card games.
jerking off with your
Yeah,
hentai
I
shield
mean,
on.
yep, 100%, dude. Just so fucking much. Obviously,
Hentai's part of my week.
I need to know more
yeah,
about
Like
this.
like
I know
literal
about
hentai.
this. I
Wait,
know
hang
this.
on. Now I want you to go. Hang on.
Oh
I
yeah,
need to
like
know this.
literal hentai. Nah. I'll save the best for last. It's okay. Keep going. Y'all want to hear about hentai? We'll save it for last. That's how you keep the viewers in. I alluded to hentai. Now they have to wait, or just skip to my week because Anthony timestamps it, so it doesn't matter.
I'm gonna put your week literally at the end of the episode. And I'm not gonna timestamp.
Right, yeah,
I'm to the end of the fucking podcast.
yeah. You just don't timestamp it, but you bury it somewhere in the podcast.
Yeah, you
Like
have
where
to
could
listen
it
to the
be? I
whole
don't
thing.
know.
Guys, it's
Listen to
somewhere in the podcast.
You want to understand what he was talking about with the hentai? I don't know, dude. It's somewhere in there.
Well, I can go if we're putting a pause on that.
Fucking go for it, dude.
I had a really busy week actually. I rewatched, as I said, the original Mortal Kombat movie and
Spite watch.
Event Horizon. Literally spite watched. I love both those movies, and I continue to love both those movies. Um, it's hard to talk about a movie that like I've been watching on and off for like so goddamn long. Is they're both really entertaining. Event Horizon's a lot cornier than I remembered. That's for sure. Because I remember, I mean, even when I watched it when I was young, I was never really scared of Event Horizon. It was creepy.
Can I I'm sorry, can I interrupt you really briefly?
You may.
I just did a quick Google, I'm sorry. Apparently Mortal Kombat beat Godzilla vs. Kong in its opening
Yeah.
weekend,
Holy shit.
which means a sequel is coming. Anyway, continue.
Hopefully more kung fu movies, period, are coming. I miss kung fu movies. Um, not that they don't exist, but they're just not in the forefront anymore.
Shang-Chi is coming.
Doesn't
We got
count,
Mortal
it's
Kombat, we got an MCU I mean, it fucking counts, dude. You saw the trailer.
Marvel.
How does that not count?
I don't know.
I don't understand.
I'm just
The
being a little
choreography's
bitch,
there.
alright? I'm being a little bitch.
I don't understand.
Please explain. How
Please
you're being
explain.
a
I don't
bitch.
understand.
But yeah, they're very good
Who
movies.
bitch this is?
Me the bitch about
Who bitch
Marvel.
is this?
But yeah, they're good movies. You should watch them. Event Horizon is still the prequel to 40K, and Mortal Kombat. Your brother's soul is mine. Lou.
That shit scared the shit out of me as a kid.
No, what always got me is the flaming skull afterwards. That scared me. As a kid, that had more of a fear impact on me than all of Event Horizon,
Yeah.
which is weird to say.
I don't know. There's just something about that scene for me as a kid where he like snaps his brother's neck, where I'm just like, I don't know, it scared me. That like imprinted into my head as a child.
Also, good practical effects. Like some of it isn't great. Obviously, CG's come a long way. Scorpion's fucking because in this one it's like a little dragon snake thing.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
It's the scene in the woods, right, where like
yeah,
Johnny Cage is running away or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
and,
that did not age well. That did
Yeah.
not age well at all. But other things like Shang Tsung eating people's souls, like that still looks pretty good. Goro still looks pretty goddamn good because he's mostly a giant puppet. Um, so yeah, I mean that all held up, and I literally have nothing to say about Event Horizon, like nothing at all. Um, so that's those two things. I watched more of the Expanse. I'm now most of the way through season 2 of I think 5 seasons. Um, the pacing is really, really weird. I noticed because like seasons generally have arcs, and it's not like this show doesn't have an arc. There are things happening, but the way it rolls, like I'm watching this after the fact. The Expanse is out. I can watch it. If I had to wait for this shit, I would be so pissed off because like halfway through the second season, the arc of the first season is tied up, and now it's like midway through the second season, and they're setting up like the second arc. Like it's really weird, like the order of events, but it's also good because it gives it more time. Like I don't feel like there's any wasted time in any episode, but and when nowadays when you could just binge watch it, there's no problem whatsoever. But I can only imagine people who watched the original run must have been very annoyed when the seasons ended where they did, um, and started. But it's good. It's keeping the intrigue going. Like I didn't think that the plot for the first part could really be topped, but it's already become very intriguing. Um, and all the characters are still good. They're adding new characters, and I like all of them. And the setting is feels great every time. Everything is so much thought put into it. It's so good because whenever they start introducing new elements because new characters are in different fields and doing different things, and it's all just so well thought out. It's incredible. It's such a great show. Um, you guys should watch it. So I could talk about it.
I want to. I truly do.
Besides that, I did a lot of hanging out the past week. I saw Sean. Sean's
Wow.
good. Um, I just decided, like, I was talking to him about other stuff, and then I was like, oh wait, shit, I still have your birthday gifts, and Richie, and Robbie, I still have your birthday gifts as well, and so I was just
Don't worry, I still have Brendan's Christmas present.
nice.
Jesus.
So I just set up a date and we hung out. We talked for hours. We just like sat around and talked, and it was really really nice. And then I went to my friend Liz and Nico's over the weekend. I slept over. They're so young, dude. It's so weird being old. It's it
Tell me about
sucks.
it.
It
You hanging out with
sucks.
youngins?
Yeah. But it's really weird because it reminds me of like when I was in high school. The fact that like just a bunch of people sitting in a room and like every person is playing a different video game and we're not really talking. We're
Yeah.
talking a little bit when we're like, "Oh, dude, check out this play or this move or whatever." And it's like, "Look what I'm doing in this." And it's like, "Oh, cool, sick, nice." And then like that's it while drinking. Like that's the only difference. Is like it's the same shit but with drinking. And I haven't hung out like that again since like high school. Uh, because like college and onward, that was we were more into tabletop, so I'm used to that type of hanging out. And then the past year, I'm used to not hanging out at all. So it's very interesting. It's like a doorway to the past. I'm old. Um, but because of that, I've played a lot of video games. Most of which I'm not gonna talk about because it's the same shit. MechWarrior Online, no one cares. Um, I played Dark Souls 3. No one cares. Um, I played Titanfall 2.
I saw that.
Wow, you actually turned on Titanfall 2 and didn't tell me?
I did.
That's incredible.
It was a very short time. It's only 2 hours. Relax. And
Wow.
I will invite you to all future Titaning and Falling.
Fucking
Um,
Jesus. Hard yikes.
it's kind of alarming because initially I played it. They had it on their various Xboxes, so that was like one of the few things we played together. Is because they have multiple Xboxes, so we were able to like online play in the same room on different screens. Kind of weird, whatever. And I was like, oh shit, this game is so good. Oh fuck, I hate controller aiming so much. Holy shit, how did I ever do this ever? And and so I installed it.
That's a rough transition.
It is so bad. So I
I
installed it
had
on my
that
PC.
I had that experience a little bit like a few years back, like when Halo, oh, a few, it's probably like fucking 5 now, when Halo 5 came out, and I was like, oh man, let me play this on my Xbox after just playing like Counter-Strike for like a fucking year or two on PC, and
Mhm.
boy howdy was I trash.
Yeah,
That's
it's
real hard.
yeah, it's hard to get used to that again. Um, but yeah, so then I got home and I was like, fucking yeah, I'm gonna put it on my PC, even though Origin is cancer. And it's good to know that my Origin account that I deleted because it was hacked still existed, still hacked, so that's not great. Um, and just yeah, so see me online. I am BCZX4 9 to like 27 characters. That's my screen name. If you see me in a match, I'm going to apologize for it. And look forward to seeing you there. I also played Call of Duty Warzone, which was pretty fun.
Hmm.
Didn't install that on my computer because it's like fucking 100 gigabytes, and fuck that.
That's the biggest reason I don't want to play that.
But
I
if it
just don't
wasn't
want
for
to
that, I
install.
would probably be playing it.
I Warzone's cool. It's just that like I wanted to try it out when it first came out, but I couldn't. And now I'm just I don't know, so far from like wanting to play it.
The one thing
Just
that I
play Apex
wasn't able
instead.
to figure out about that is it's like it's weird because it's a battle royale, so there are like colored guns, but I don't think it does anything because you also have loadouts. And
Yeah,
you can get your loadout, and I think the colored guns just have more attachments on it, like different scopes and muzzle devices and stuff, which doesn't impact the performance that much. So, like, rarity doesn't super matter, and that's weird. Also, it does weird things where there's like multiple guns that are the same gun but behave wildly differently. Like there's an AUG that's an SMG and also an AUG that's a burst fire DMR. And there's an M4 that's a machine gun, like an AR, and then there's an M4 that's a burst long range rifle. And you just have to kind of look at it and be able to identify which one it was. And that's easier than it sounds, but it's just really weird. And sometimes I was getting mixed up where I was like, oh, sick, an AUG, and picked it up. And I was like, oh, wait, no, this isn't the one that I actually like. Uh, fuck. So yeah, that's very strange, but to try to mix the Call of Duties and the Battle Royales, but it kind of works. It works fine. If it wasn't 100 gigs, I would be playing it.
it looks cool. It looks like a very like I said, I kind of wanted to play it when it first came out. Everything I've seen of people playing Warzone for like the last year or whatever, it looks how do I put this without sounding like I'm being condescending? It looks like a very easy battle royale where like time to kill is not quite as long as certain other ones. So like getting the satisfaction of like getting a kill isn't quite as difficult. Plus you have the comeback mechanic of the gulag and shit like that. And it looks fun. It doesn't look like I'm not saying it doesn't it looks bad or anything. It's just that's kind of my takeaway from having seen people play it.
Yeah. Basically, the way all those mechanics work is you could even buy back, too. They have that,
Yeah.
too. Um, but like once the ring shrinks a certain amount, the gulag no longer exists, and so then you could only buy back, and at that
Right.
point, it's so expensive and hard to pull off that you're pretty much not gonna do it. But
It's
um,
cool. It's cool
yeah,
iterations like of the battle royale game mode. I'm not like dogging it or anything. It's
the
just
mount
it's
system is really great. If you crouch or like stand behind any cover or go prone, you could press in on the controller, it was the right analog stick, to like mount your gun. You basically brace it against whatever cover, and so that like wildly reduces your range that you could aim in, and it slows it the fuck down too. But it really cuts down on recoil, and for me, used to a mouse, the slower aiming of a stick was a lot more precise, and it worked out really good. And I like that system. The fact that there's like, almost every FPS has you can't hit a barn if you're moving while shooting. You have to stand still or crouch or go prone to hit anything. And then this is just like, it's the Super Saiyan blue. It's like going further beyond. Um, and I like it because I like my. It's also really weird for that to be in COD Battle Royale, this like super slow tactical shooter element, but being that that's my shit, I latched onto it and I was using it all the time to great effect. Um, so yeah, that was essentially my week. I moved a bunch of furniture, worked suck ass, and yeah, I had to take a 1,500 pound printer off of a pallet to get it off of another pallet because that's how they shipped it to us. And I almost died, and that was fun.
Nice.
Nice.
That's my week.
Go for it, Rob.
My week was very boring. I have been playing everything Riot recently, from the card game to League to even their battle chess thing now with team fight tactics because my one friend got into it and he asked me to play with him.
Teamfight Tactics is interesting. I'm not sure. Like, it's okay, but I don't know.
Otherwise,
That was a scathing review from Richie. It's okay, but he doesn't know.
I'd have to play it again. Like, I played it a bit ago, like months ago.
they keep
But
releasing different types. If you like different.
yeah, it like rotates, right? The
Yeah.
alliances.
Yeah, currently it's the Ruination or whatever the fuck. It's interesting. But otherwise, I watched Mortal Kombat, enjoyed it. Um, and I don't remember the name of the show I'm currently watching, but it's like a superhero movie ripoff. I think it's called Invincible. It's on Prime Videos or whatever.
Hey!
Hey, no spoilers. I want to watch that.
Yeah, I would highly recommend it. I am literally only like 4 episodes in. Highly recommend.
Oh yeah, I should probably mention that I did watch the latest episode of that as well. Every Friday.
Yeah, would highly recommend that to
It's
anyone who
very
has it.
good.
First episode got me hooked.
Yeah. Cool, we could talk about Invincible. Nice. Not on podcast though.
Not on podcast. No. Richie's like no spoilers.
Sit and
Yes, 'cause
watch
I
Invincible.
do want to
goddammit.
watch it.
Sit the fuck down, watch cartoons.
Do you? I mean, I guess this could be part of my week. I got like no hours fucking next week, so I have fucking tons of free time.
Hell yeah.
There you go. Watch Invincible.
I guess that he's a Dota anime. He has to watch.
That's true.
You can
But
make room for both. You got a whole week.
This is true.
Is that your week, sir?
Yeah, that was my week.
All right.
Very simple.
Very cool. Now for the moment you've all been waiting for. It's not as exciting as it was made out to be. What did I do? I played Hunt. I continue to play Bannerlord a little bit. Don't got a lot to say about that. I wish Bannerlord was a little more different than it was when it first came out like a year ago. It's got some interesting changes over the course of this last year, but not a ton, to be honest. And there are aspects to that game. I've put way more time into Bannerlord now than I did when it first came out. And there are aspects of that game that I just actually kind of dislike that I would like them to fuck with. And maybe they won't. I don't know. I don't care to get into the specifics of it, but I mean, there's shit like AI being completely fucking ass backwards broken in Bannerlord. Like, I would highly recommend that when you're playing Bannerlord and you siege a city or something, you never build a siege tower, ever, ever, because the AI doesn't know how to use it. So what they'll do is they'll wheel a siege tower up to the walls, and then they'll mosh pit at the bottom, and they don't know how to use the ladders on a siege tower. They just like can't do it. So they'll go. So even though there's like three out ladders on it, like every once in a while, one dude will have like a spark of imagination, and he'll be like, "Oh my god, I can fucking use the one in the middle." And so like one dude will go up, and then he'll get ass blasted, and then they'll keep mosh pitting at the bottom of the siege tower, and they just get fucked because they don't know what to do. And if you tell them to charge, it's if you try to give them an order to make them go up the siege tower, they just like forget that the siege tower even exists at all, and they'll just run for like normal ladders, or they'll like go for the main gate. Like they're just completely broken. The siege towers don't work whatsoever, which is shocking because the game's been out for a fucking year, so you'd think that that would be fixed, but apparently it's not. Um, just like little things like that. So like I'm enjoying Bannerlord, and I would still kind of recommend it, but there's aspects of it that are wholly fucked up, um, and not very good. Uh, what else did I play? I didn't really play fucking anything else, dude. Like I just worked on some shit, and then what I did was I bought a hentai distortion plugin for
You
my
bought it?
DAW. Yeah, I did.
Yes.
Fuck yeah, I did. It's only $20, and I did a little research on it, and I was like, oh, it's like an independent dev. Like I think he's a solo guy or girl. I don't know who it is, but one individual made this plugin, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. And then I heard people being like, the distortion itself, like the actual plugin itself, is actually pretty good. So I was like, fuck it, this is hilarious. I think this is funny as fuck, and it's only $20. And fuck it, so I bought it. And basically, what it is, for those who have no idea what I'm saying, it's a plugin called Nani. So you could even go look it up right now
I'm gonna
if you just
link it.
googled like Nani plugin or whatever. Um, it's a
Check the link
distortion.
below.
Yeah, there you go. We'll promote it. It's a distortion plugin. You run a signal through it. It distorts the signal like any distortion plugin would.
To
It's got
change the
pretty.
sound for those of you who don't even understand that.
It has pretty basic settings. Honestly, I use other distortion plugins that are far more complicated, but this one is simple and effective. It actually doesn't sound bad for a $20 distortion plugin, which is kind of shocking. I've used it on a few things now, and it's pretty good. The main gimmick of it is that it has a waifu on it, and when you run a signal through it and distort a signal, the waifu's shirt will explode. Based on the volume level of the signal, I think post distortion, so it gets affected by the distortion itself, and then she jiggles in time with the volume level of the signal. It's very cool.
Nice.
Okay
Yeah.
then.
It's very neat. And it has a safe for work button. You know, if you're like a pleb and you don't want to see nipples or whatever, you could like toggle that. But I I find it. I'm not like
You're a
jerking
pleb.
off. I'm not like jerking it to this hentai distortion plugin or anything like that. I just think it's fucking hilarious that some individual was like, "How do I market this distortion algorithm that I'm selling via this plugin?" I know, hentai waifu, and her shirt explodes in a rhythmic fashion based on what you run through it. It's fucking incredible. So yeah, it's Nani. I think it's literally. I think it's just Nani. Um, there's a
Nah.
very humorous website that they use to market it with many funny things on it. Um, there's even a little bit of humor in the plugin itself because it has a toggle where you can turn on like a help overlay if you want it to kind of explain the various parameters to you. And when you turn it on at one point, like halfway down, there's a paragraph that says like it explains all the actual distortion stuff, and then it gets to the bottom and it explains the waifu. And it's like this is her name, and she jiggles in time with the signal, blah blah blah. And then like the last sentence of the paragraph is like, and yes, I was very uncomfortable writing this. It's awesome. I love it. So whoever made that shit, you'll never listen to this, but it's actually a very good plugin. The waifu thing is hilarious, but the distortion itself, I'm actually enjoying quite a bit. I've used it on a few things. I've used it on some like fucked up bass noises and shit. and I've used it on a couple sounds, which will be, I've actually used it on a couple sounds that will be in the track that I've been working on a lot over the last few weeks. So whenever that's done, know that somewhere in there is a jiggling waifu. You just can't see it.
You just can't see it.
And that's been my week. I really didn't play a whole lot of games. I just kind of work on shit a lot, and I'm still not done with it because I'm very slow, and I've been working on a lot of different things in tandem. But I think by this time next week, I will most certainly be done with. I don't think it's possible for me not to be done with what I've mostly been working on. So I will probably be finished with that, and then I'll throw it at you, Anthony, like I said. And if you feel like it's better for the intro, then you could cut it. But if not, then whatever. It doesn't matter.
Will do.
And that was my week.
Nice.
All
I ain't
right.
got shit else.
Now we can talk about our very few news stories.
Yep, there's a very lengthy part of the podcast coming right up.
D&D something. Robbie, I didn't read that thing.
Yeah. Sorry, I even forgot I posted that.
This is the quality content you come here for, folks. We don't even remember the news that we post.
It has been a long week. I apologize.
There's sometimes I don't even remember recording.
That's fair. Anyway, what this was basically Wizards has put out basically a news outlet for a team that they are putting out to basically inform everyone of what they're doing from now on.
So kind of like a community outreach.
Yeah, and in this, which was interesting, is that they mentioned more books coming, a lot more, in the span of this year. We have this one coming soon. We have Ravenloft. Then they mentioned one coming by the summer, and another one before the end of the year, and mayhaps even another one. That's 3 new books before Christmas, basically.
Have they described content, or could it be like an adventure path as one of them?
They mentioned it being content, so it could be adventures, which would be okay. I mean, Icewind Dales was an adventure book, but it still gave us like the update to the Goliath race and other small things that were just kind of like quality of life things that gave the community some stuff that really did make some improvements.
So they put out adventure books in a very like 40K-esque fashion. What they do is they put out a book, and what they do is they layer some other things in there that are just good, like in general, even if you don't give a shit about the adventure, like pre-written stuff, so that you like feel like you want to buy it for like the Goliath stuff or whatever the fuck, even if you don't give a shit about the actual adventure.
Sometimes.
It's fine. It's a solid marketing strategy.
It's been more relatively recent, but yes. So we have the Ravenloft coming out in May, actually. We have the suspected Dragonlance update. This may be their summer product they were talking about, and then another one that they're confirmed, and then mayhaps even another one before that. So that's where things get interesting. 2 that no one saw coming. That could mean a lot more Unearthed Arcanas coming out. Could have something to do with the Fae portion of the Unearthed Arcana we have been released, where we have fairies and other like the rabbit folk and bird folk that were released in Unearthed Arcana. Could have something to do with that, but I have no
Maybe
idea.
rabbits, possibly birds.
Just if we get Fey Wild content, it would be long overdue. There's not a lot of D&D content on the Fey Wilds itself. It's usually up to DMs to make that shit up. So, interesting. Magic items involving the Fey would give druids a lot more needed magic items that they don't have. Hopefully. Maybe give rangers some much needed shit. Though with Dragonlance maybe coming, we'll see the Drake Warden, which would make a lot of rangers feel a lot better because they would be able to summon a dragon.
Dwagon.
Dwagon.
I mean, any help for that class is appreciated.
I mean, Tasha's tried to give it a bunch of different things, which did help it, my personal opinion. And now you got subclasses coming out for it, with like the Drake Warden and some of the other ones from Tasha's. I think did a lot. Xanathars gave it some better subclasses. I think Ranger has made a lot of big improvements. Tasha's improvement on the Beastmaster class as well, even though while not the most optimal thing, and still a little I think it's better and still fun to run and play with. So interesting. Hopefully I'll have more news on it as things keep getting posted about it. And you know, as always, the rumor mill keeps spinning. More stuff gets released, and people keep their ears to the ground more closer than I. But I keep my ears on what they announce to, and what they're yelling about.
Come to the Camel Cast, get third-hand news.
Exactly.
Someone's got to do it.
Fuck yeah.
Someone's got to dig through all the tinfoil hat people screaming.
That's
I
true.
have no problem doing it.
That's right. Here at the Camels, you only get the truth.
Or at least the rumor.
We cut through the bullshit to get you the news you need.
At least the rumored truth. Yeah.
I'll throw in a quick aside, a news story on the spot because I was scrolling, and I guess it's not newsworthy, but it's something we could talk about. And so by me, I mean I mean me and possibly Brandon. But they got some renders.
Oh no. Anthony's gonna fucking sigh. The second you said that, I was like, I know what this is, and Anthony's gonna be like, fuck.
Yeah.
Wait,
So
what is
something
what?
cool is that there were some leaked
It's
renders.
fucking Warhammer. It's Warhammer 3
for
shit. We don't want
Warhammer
to talk
3. And
Why am I gonna sigh?
no,
because the last time we talked, because every time we talk about it, it goes on forever. And the last time we talked about it, you gave a big sigh.
quick, but these renders just showed like I think like 2, possibly 3, like just artist renders like in game or something, and it was like a corn berserker that may or may not be the rider on the Skull Crusher or the Blood Crusher. Juggernaut. I mean, there you go.
You're crossing the streams.
And it was a Keeper of Secrets, and the Keeper of Secrets looked very satanic in a way. Yeah, it's cool, and possibly a Kislevites as well, just like a normal Kislevites dude, or well, woman, I think it is actually. But it's exciting. I bring this up because, well, one, I like that, and there's leaks, and I'm all for Total Warhammer 3 information. I bring that up too because I believe tomorrow Total War Rome Remastered is out.
I did not know
And
that.
that's exciting, not because I'm getting it or playing it, but because tomorrow is the last day, or not tomorrow, that comes out, and then we have like May in 2 days. And May is supposedly the month we're going to get more Warhammer 3 information, which is what I really want. So, here's the hoping.
And when it happens, we'll talk about it here
Oh, we'll
on
talk
our
about it
highly
a great
successful
way.
podcast.
No, you know what? No lie. I mean, I tune out when you guys start talking about it. Like, I fade in and out because it's not, like, of hyper interest to me. But it is great because it's the easiest thing to edit in the world is I just drop in the Warhammer 3 thing, and then I skip around until you stop talking, and then I drag it to that point.
Nice.
See, very quick. Very, very quick.
You done did it. Congratulations.
I mean, I guess I could talk a little more on it, but basically, the Keeper model surprised me. And by model, we just got a face. It's very different from the Keeper model out right now.
Is it more
Which-
satanic because it's closer to China?
I say satanic because it kind of has like a goat heady feel,
Okay.
which is weird for a Keeper of Secrets. But it means one of three things. It means one, that's the model they're going for, which I doubt is just set in stone and that's the only model. Two, it's like the named character one they're going to put out.
Ah.
Or three, it's just one variant and they're going to have different variants because most lords in the game have different variants of like aesthetic and look. Like some lords have like helmets and all that shit and others don't, and really there's no difference between them besides just like a little piece here and there. So maybe because there's not much in terms of armor and weapons for demons, maybe they just give different head styles.
It's just like I said in the conversation that we had about this off recording that something that's very easy to forget is that like the keeper, the supposed model render leak that doesn't look like any model that ever existed for a Keeper of Secrets before is kind of whatever, because I think it's really easy to forget that the tabletop is not perfectly indicative of how this shit works in lore and in canon, and demons in other places when they've been represented don't take such simple forms all the time as like, oh, a keeper always looks like this model that's on the tabletop. Like, it doesn't work. Like,
Yeah.
they look weird sometimes. They don't look like that. It's like a comparison I used is how everyone thinks like demon princes are always like 20-foot tall, muscled beasts straight out of Doom or whatever. And it's like, they don't always look like that. And even in the lore, like you can see like Valkia or whatever is like, she's a demon prince. She just looks like a fucking person.
Yeah.
It's like human sized. It's like that's a thing. Like even in the RPG books for 40K that like Fantasy Flight put out, you saw that shit a lot more frequently. Where it would be like, oh, here's a demon prince. It looks nothing like what you would think a demon prince looks like. So it's like, yeah, I'm fine with the keeper looking like this because demons can look weird. They don't always look like what the fucking model looks like.
And what I'm hoping for too is that we do get separate like variants, not like variants as in like rules and stat lines and abilities, but variants is just like, aesthetically.
CA has I don't know. They've done that, but I feel like they've been a little weak with it sometimes, depending on the unit. So it would be.
I mean, well, one, this is a new game. Maybe and it's a game they need to fucking hype up. It's already hyped, but so maybe they put the effort into that, and two. I mean, it just makes sense. It makes sense, like campaign wise, because like if you look, every other lord has like aesthetics changes to them, and they're the same lord. Like look at the vampire lords, like they have helmets, no helmets. Like it's simple shit like that, but
yeah. I was gonna point them out actually though as an example of where I think they failed a little bit, because you can see as the game, in my personal opinion, you can see as the games went on that their ability to model a person got much better. Like, it's weird. I don't know if it's just that they spent more time and effort on it because of the success of the first game, but as game 2 happened and then game 2 DLC came out, you can see that they're better at like modeling a person. Like the faces look better. Shit just looks better.
Look at the Sisters of Twilight. They look fucking incredible. And then look at like Vampire Lords. Like it's
which is like an issue that I kind of hate, is that a lot of those game 1 races don't look quite as good aesthetically, in particular in like the facial modeling department specifically, but whatever. They're probably never going to go back and fix that, so I'll live with that. But
in a way, it's not that they don't have to, but like there are mods for that.
Yeah, there's mods for it, and like that's, it's unfortunate that that's like an excuse that I guess. But like, you got my point. I wish that the standards were the same across all games, but they clearly weren't. But that's fine.
Your discussion is killing Robbie.
Yep, he's choking to death.
He's choking on this lores and facts. Cutting through the bullshit to bring you the truth. Demons can look different.
Let's get right into the news.
Vampire counts suck.
I'm alive.
Honestly, one of my like favorite depictions of a demon is
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
He's
Every time he
allergic
starts
to-
talking about it again,
Yeah.
he starts dying.
One of my favorite depictions of a demon prince is Fulgrim, like it's this big snake man. That's like something you don't
Yeah,
see.
yeah. That's what I mean.
Big
with, like, how
four-armed snake man. Like
there's interesting, weird demon designs that exist that didn't really get models. At least not always. The Fantasy Flight games were incredible for that. Something I really liked about them was how they dug into some of the deeper bits of like 40k canon and showed off stuff that the tabletop didn't really show off. But anyway,
moving on.
what's next? So Rob can live.
Apex.
Oh fuck yeah, dude! This will be quick.
That trailer had a lot in it for me.
Yeah, it did. I'm very excited about it. So first of all, we spoke about leaks for Apex like weeks ago, and none of those were real. It was true that Titanfall was coming, but not in the way that we thought it was. It wasn't the character that anyone thought it was going to be, and it also the weird Titan as an ability thing apparently was not real, or that's way further out in the future and not done. So instead, what we got is this person who's the daughter of Viper from Titanfall 2. She has multiple. She has multiple references to Viper, like in her executions and in her voice lines. She even wears a helmet, which I'm assuming will be a skin that you can probably buy with in-game currency. That looks very much like him. It like kind of looks like his helmet, from what I understand. I haven't actually beaten Titanfall 2's campaign. It's kind of one of the things on my list of shame that I want to go back and do. I'd probably do it before this season came out, but I can't because Resident Evil 8 is coming out very soon, so I don't really have the time. But yeah, I'm very excited. She looks cool. She's not bringing like Titans and shit to the game, but if anyone thought that that's what was going to happen, you were misguided. The more interesting thing, she has like references to the North Star Titans from Titanfall and her abilities. And like I said, in her executions and shit. Apparently one of her executions is straight up like one of the like sync kill animations for North Stars in Titanfall
Nice.
2, which is kind of cool. And they're putting in a new game mode, which I'm very excited about. It's essentially Apex Counter-Strike. This is something that people have been asking for in Apex for a while, which is like a game mode that's separate from the BR, that just kind of gets you to the action immediately, like something more akin to like a team deathmatch or whatever, because people like the gameplay, but they don't always want to do the BR shit all the time. So like a more arena shootery take on Apex is something that people have pitched, and we're getting it essentially in the form of like a round-based kind of like search and destroy from COD sort of game mode, but with like a Counter-Strike spin where you buy your guns and your mods and shit before each round starts, and then you run in and you fight the other team 3v3, and it looks pretty fucking cool, to be honest. I'm quite excited about it. I don't like the new Legend's name.
What's the name?
Her name is Valkyrie, and I just kind of like roll my eyes at that because I'm like, man, that's super unoriginal.
My name is generic.
She flies, so let's name her Valkyrie, and she has a suit that looks kind of wingish, and it's just.
It's God.
Because like jetpacks exist, and it's established part of the
Wow,
war.
I draw way too much of a blank. That took me way too long. I was gonna say it's just Farah.
Yeah, kind of. She's a little Farah-esque, but like with a really unoriginal name. I don't know. I feel like they could have named her something more creative, like something more like maybe like an offshoot of Viper or something. Like get into it. Yeah, sure. Swan Dive, much better than Valkyrie. Guys, I think I'm gonna lock Swan Dive this match. I think that's the play here.
I think that's the play. I think it's the best.
But anyway, I'm pretty excited about this. I'm excited that Respawn's acknowledging that Titanfall exists at all. I think that's kind of cool. Is it indicative of shit to come in the future? I don't know. Probably not. But I'm excited that it is happening whatsoever. The game mode looks fun. So get hype.
I've always wanted a legend in that game whose ult is just to call down like a Titan for an X amount of time, but
Yeah, it's never
maybe
gonna
it's game
happen.
breaking.
It's really never gonna happen because I don't see how they could balance that. As the year. How long has Apex been out for? Like 2 years or a year? Has it only been a year? How long has this game been out for?
It's been now.
I honestly
I
don't
feel
remember.
like a while, isn't it? And it's like with what season? I understand that that's not like tied to a year.
Did it come out? Oh yeah, it came out early 2019, so it was 2 years ago.
Oh God.
Um, I've in the 2 years that Apex has been out, I've played it fairly consistently. Not as consistently as some people have, but I've played it. I generally always wind up coming back to it for one reason or another because I like the game a lot. I've come to the conclusion that I'm fine with what the game is. I'm fine with it not having those Titanfall things like wall running and Titans and shit like that because in actuality, this game is not balanced for that. And if you had stuff like that in the game, you would fuck up a lot of what certain heroes do. Like if everyone had access to wall running, which would just hand them vertical mobility for free, it would be like, well, what's the point of Pathfinder anymore and shit like that. So I'm fine with that, and I'm fine with Titans not being a thing because I don't really see how they would balance Titans in a BR format. So if that shit never comes to this game, I'm kind of okay with it. But I'm very excited about the season.
Well, I mean, hey, you were talking about they're adding a Counter-Strike game mode. What if you get kill streaks in that and you get to bring down a Titan and it's
Yeah,
just
well,
Titanfall?
yeah, it's literally just Titanfall. It's 3 Titanfall, but with hero abilities, which are basically just the equipment from Titanfall anyway. So yeah, it's not gonna happen. Anyway, I'm hype. I'll be playing this when it comes out, so you'll probably get my opinions of it. I don't know if I'll touch the arena mode. I want to, but I'll probably only play it if I have people who are playing it with me. So,
Makes sense.
if I don't,
Team-based competitive in randos is not great.
yeah, I kind of hate it. I don't like Apex with randos, even in the normal game mode, to be completely honest, which is why I don't play it as much as I would. I have to have someone who's willing to play with me, or else I don't have fun. But yeah, so I don't know. You'll hear more from me. When does this come out? The 7th or something like that? I think. Well, whenever it comes out, I'll have played it.
Mark
I'll get my hot
calendars
takes
for
on
the
Swan
7th or
Dive.
something like that.
Get my
Full
sweet
review of Swan
Canon
Dive.
now. Her name is Swan Dive.
Yeah, full review of Swan Dive coming soon.
Swan Dive into this new character. All right. Street Fighter Man's new job.
Oh yeah, he's at a new company. He does mobile games now.
Oh, that's really upsetting.
It's kind of not. So the reason why I posted this, it's kind of interesting, is like, don't get me wrong, Ono is like a huge name. The guy's been around forever, and the laundry list of things that he's worked on at Capcom is kind of massive. I would look it up for the sake of the podcast, but whatever, y'all could do that yourself. He's worked on a lot of stuff. He's worked on a lot of shit, and he's been a figure at Capcom for a long time, and he's mostly been in the fighting game division. The honest, unfortunate truth of it. So, like, Yoshinori Ono is a kind of a big deal, which is why I posted this at all. So it's kind of worth talking about. But the biggest reason why it's kind of whatever is because it's of a lot of people's opinions that Street Fighter V miraculously got better when he left. So,
Ah.
a lot of behind the scenes stuff points to him maybe being a big cause for a lot of the fuck ups in Street Fighter as of late. I don't know if he was tied to MVCI at all. I would have to look that up. But a lot of stuff like I don't know if you guys are aware of like the big fuck up that Street Fighter V was before we actually got the SF5 that we got, because there was a different game that was going to be Street Fighter V that was all fucked up, that never saw the light of day. So they basically just scrapped that and then make the Street Fighter V that we wound up getting. And like Ono was involved in all that shit, and it's not great. So now he's gone, and Street Fighter V's newest season or two has been some of the best content that game's gotten since release, and now he's at some other company making mobile games. So I don't know. If you care about Ono, that's what he's doing. But apparently, when he left, Street Fighter just got better for it. which is kind of fucked up, but it's the truth. See how long this guy's been at Capcom. I'm just curious. Saturday Night Slam Masters in 1993. The man's been around for a while. Street Fighter Alpha in 1995. He was a sound programmer back in the day, actually, and a music composer. Wow, big come up.
And now mobile games.
He did CG modeling on RE Outbreak.
Huh.
That's strange. And then his first real producer credit is Capcom Fighting Jam in 2004, and then from there he starts producing Street Fighter games and some Monster Hunter games. But yeah, anyway, so he fucked up Monster Hunter, and he's gone. He was an executive producer on MVCI,
Ego.
so executive producer on SF5, executive producer on Deep Down, the game that we'll never hear anything about ever
The
again.
game that literally looked amazing and refuses to exist.
We'll never know if it was amazing.
Never. Deep Down still, Deep Down and Routine still haunt me to this day.
Oh my god, Routine. I know the name, but I'm not sure what you're talking about. Routine.
There was also what's the new Scorn? At least Scorn, like they're posting dev updates, but it seems like it's taking forever to fucking come out.
Oh, I kind of remember this. Yeah, I think I remember Routine.
I
Completely
literally,
forgot about
I
that.
literally bought a PlayStation 3 for Deep Down and
Oh, no.
what was the other one that didn't come out until like fucking PlayStation 4? The one that was like by the guys who made Ico.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I bought like
The kid in the big woolly fucking...
yeah, because they were like it's coming out, and I enjoyed Ico, and then Deep Down looked amazing, and I was like hell yeah, I'm gonna buy a PS3, and then eventually they'll come out, and then they didn't.
Big rip.
I mean, it was fine. I got Demon Souls. I got mileage out of my PS3. All the Armored Core
E3
games were on it.
E3's right around the corner, dude. Deep Down coming soon.
Oh boy.
Big announcement. We know Capcom's
So
there.
excited. That's why they fired him. He was gonna go.
He was holding back.
Yeah. He was gonna go to the presses like I'm gonna release Deep Down, and they're like the fuck you are.
Fuck you say, bitch? You're fired. I didn't get fired. He just left. But...
Speaking of people getting fired, CJ Project Red made shit tons of money on Cyberpunk. Turns out.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was an interesting
That sounds
article.
surprising.
Yeah, it's not really surprising at
I
all.
remember reading
Fuck, the pre-orders alone's
yeah,
probably
like
most
a
of that.
sister article to this that even like returns and shit were not a gigantic number.
Yeah, because I think more people. You always have to remember. This is always something to keep in mind. Is that whenever there's any kind of outrage, a lot of what you're hearing, and don't get me wrong, this game had issues. I'm not defending that, but a lot of what you're hearing is kind of the vocal minority. So in reality, like how many people really returned it? Enough to actually make a difference in their sales figures? Probably not. I'd be willing to bet the vast majority of people just pre-ordered that shit, sat on it, they were fine with what they got, and they're waiting for it to get better if they're not actively playing it since release. So yeah, I just posted this because it's an interesting thing to talk about, but like I don't think anyone should be surprised when they read this. Like, of course it made its money. It was so fucking hyped. How is this game not gonna make back its money like 20-fold?
Yeah, and it doesn't matter because no matter how much money this game made, like the impact on the legacy is will far outlast any dollars earned or lost. Like people were talking about CG Projekt Red as like the second coming of Christ in video game form, and now they do not.
I think one thing I would like to point out, and this is something I wanted to bring up as a result of this article, is that I think the more interesting thing to look at going ahead is not how well this game sold, but how well the next Cyberpunk title they put out sells. That's what I'm really interested in seeing. I want to see like the hype machine for the next Cyberpunk game. What does it look like? You know what I mean? Is it just people being like cautious and maybe a little like pessimistic? Are people still gonna like buy it in droves? Like, will a hype machine work a second time for a second Cyberpunk game that we know they're making? Like, I don't know. It's interesting. That's what I'm curious to see.
Will their advertising literally just be like, "We didn't fuck it up this time"? Playable on PlayStation 4.
Like actually
Like
playable.
actually,
Like,
we're not. That's not a metaphor.
like a functional video game that you can enjoy on PS4. What's next? We got any other news, or is that it?
We got the last thing that I posted. So Genshin Impact is a game I
Oh
don't
my
give a
god,
shit
I'm glad
about.
you posted this because I wanted to talk about this and I forgot to post it. Go for it.
Genshin Impact is a game I don't give a shit about. It's one of those gotchas that you've heard so much about, where you collect various anime waifus. But in this game, instead of the game battling for you, it's a stripped down Breath of the Wild, and there's 3D combat, and there's a lot of particle effects. Anyway,
Supposedly it's pretty competent. I've heard people say the game is fun. It's just that the gotcha shit sucks.
well, I mean, it sucks for any game that does stuff like that. Anyway, so the founders of the studio almost got stabbed to death in an assassination plot.
Yep.
Oh,
Video games are for real, boys and girls.
That escalated quickly.
It sure did.
What was it over exactly? I believe it was a guy that was just upset over like some skin or something that they put out, and he like attempted to kill someone from the studio and got arrested outside their development offices, I believe, brandishing a knife. I don't remember exactly what it was that set him off, but yes, we've now escalated to people actually It's no longer a funny joke to be like, herder, if X company does this, I'm gonna bomb their offices. Like, don't say that anymore.
No, it's still
Because
funny. Still post that. That's fine.
because
Just don't do it.
this guy escalated it to reality. Well, okay, don't get me wrong. There have been very angry people on the internet who've been sending death threats to developers for like decades.
Forget that. Remember the anime studio that was like literally burnt down by an angry fan and like killed
No,
people? Yeah.
I don't remember that at all.
Well, I mean, we're not into anime, so I don't blame you. But yeah, it was like a big studio, and it did something he didn't like, so he barred the doors, poured gasoline, and torched it.
Jesus Christ.
Holy fuck!
Like literally, like killed the directors and stuff. Like he burned the fucking building down,
My God!
like it was Office Space or some shit.
Holy fuck! Waifu tits have escalated.
They're important. So reading into this, what it was is that they added bodysuit costumes, very sexy, for several characters, but not in China, which is
Oh,
where he's
shit.
from and where they're located. You motherfuckers. Too bad he didn't stab them. That was sarcasm.
What a fucking insane individual you have to be like, I'm so upset over the fact that you didn't give me a very sexy bunny outfit for my favorite waifu.
You gave those filthy fucking foreigners my
And I'm
waifu
so
on a
pissed.
silver platter
I am gonna
in
stab the shit out of you.
spandex, but you didn't give it to me?
I cannot see her busty boobs
Because I think that's a good idea. Please sign my knife.
in this rabbit
Your
outfit.
blood.
This is my lucky knife. I want you to autograph it.
Please don't go to developers and stab them because they didn't give your waifu a sexy bunny outfit. Please
Stab
don't.
them for real reasons.
All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Do you think?
Disclaimer.
I don't agree with
Disclaimer.
anything Richie
Don't
just
stab.
said.
Disclaimer: don't stab anyone, please.
Oh God. Oh no.
Those aisle updates are coming really slowly, huh, Richie?
Oh
looks
no.
to his
He has wolf
claymore.
knives, dude.
He has
You
wolf
give him the
knives
wolf
and a
knives.
True. Oh, too bad red flag laws don't exist.
Oh God.
Oh,
Oh
they do.
no.
politics.
I am leaving this podcast now. Goodbye, everybody. Anyway, do you think that Total War Warhammer 2 is pretty popular in China, right?
Oh, that's true. You're not wrong.
I think it is.
Yeah, but
right?
they're not headquarters in
so
there. They're out of
Is
stab
pandering to
range.
China, blah,
So
blah,
hold on, wait. So if Warhammer 2 is popular in China, do you think their horrendous government thinks that like the skeletons in a vampire count's army are witchcraft, so they like censor it?
I don't know.
Are they that like
You know about that, right?
ideological?
You know that that's why Wraith King got removed, right? Or
Wait,
I'm sorry. That's why Skeleton King got changed to Wraith King in Dota 2 was because the Chinese market, they can't have like allusions to death. Anything like death related, they can't like that shit is highly censored like for whatever reason. So like a skeleton, like an animated skeleton is an issue. That's why have you ever seen this
What's
stuff?
the game like now?
Have you ever seen the shit of like what World of Warcraft looks like in China, like their version? It's massively different. There's so much stuff like the undead like player characters and stuff don't look anything like what you think they look like. Like
We-
all the stuff where
We
their
don't even
bones
have
are
to
showing are
go. You don't even have to go to China for that. Germany, for the longest time, like there's no blood or violence. So, like, I know for Half-Life, you know how the multiplayer had those different skins you could use. They force locked it to the robot skin, and even
okay.
in the single player, there was all like the Herc grunts were just robots. There were no people.
Yeah, that's a little different though, because now we're getting into like Australia's like high censorship and
No, that
like
was
other countries and
Germany.
how what? Yeah, I know, but I'm saying Australia's like similar, like with their
Yeah,
ratings systems and
localization be a weird thing, and sometimes it
um
has to do with superstition.
but in China, I'm not saying they're not okay with the violent aspect. They totally are. What they're not okay with is showing things like animated skeletons and like
They're
anything that like
scary.
corrupts death.
What if the entire country is just super in on that meme?
So So our vampire counts in Warhammer 2 just complete like are all skeleton units just like walking teddy bears and shit because like they think it's witchcraft or some shit. Probably.
Wow, I didn't know that. Fucking
What are you looking up? The World of Warcraft stuff?
I was looking that up, but I found this that Clinks in China is
Oh yeah.
like he's all wrapped up in shit and has a demon head instead
It's
of the bones.
it's
Yep.
Crinks instead.
What the fuck? Okay, that's a podcast. Skeletons are witchcraft in China. Fuck all of you.
Apparently, I'm reading that even if you have a Chinese Steam account, the undead units are not censored.
Interesting. Maybe that's why it's such a big hit. It's their only way they could get information on
Oh my
skeletons.
god, how the fuck get Tomb Kings? How the fuck does that
Ooh.
Yeah,
work?
that's what I'm saying. Like I wonder what Warhammer 2 looks like in China. That shit has to be like
It's crazy how we
censored.
got sidetracked over an assassination attempt.
Well,
We're
yeah.
discussing skeletons.
Well, because you said it was a dude in China and it was like censorship in China, so then I was like, what about the witchcraft and the skeletons?
But
No
no,
one's
so
stabbing
here's the
EA over
important thing.
skeletons.
Genshin Impact Chinese game headquarters China. All these people headquarters not in China. Out of stab range. Safety.
Chinese versions of Warhammer 1 and 2 censor skeletons, but not zombies,
Well, yeah, they're different.
apparently.
Explicitly, they are different. They're not against undead. It's just bones is creepy. Are dentists like super badasses in China or something? Because they're just working on bones all day. How does archaeology work?
Apparently, it's also a cult thing in China. I don't know what that has to do with skeletons, but I guess anything that has to do with like the raising of the undead can be construed as like cultish, and they're not okay with that.
Hmm.
So their policy on religion and shit is very harsh on like promoting cults or superstitions. So apparently that's why a lot of that shit gets censored.
That's wonky.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's
It was
just
interesting. I watched a
culture.
whole video about how the world, like their version of WoW, is massively different from ours. It's kind of interesting.
Welcome to
And
the
a lot
Kingdom.
of people in China will like try to find ways around it, like to like run versions of the
Yeah,
game.
proxies and shit.
They
Welcome to the
they
Camels,
want
where you
that
learn something about
secret.
another culture.
We're not gonna censor anything.
Cutting through the bullshit,
you.
getting into the skeletons.
Fuck yeah.
We'll
Did you
get
know
to
there's
the
a skeleton
marrow
inside all
of
of us?
these issues.
Skeleton penis. What?
Boners.
You, dear viewer, have a skeleton inside you. Spooky, isn't it? Fuck yourself. I hate you. That's a podcast.
Good night.
Thank you. Good night.